Hey everyone, I'm Robbie Cornthwaite.
I'm Daniel Mullen.
I'm Angelo Costanzo.
I'm Marco Flores.
I'm Marcelo Carusca.
I'm Ian Fife.
This is Casio, and you're watching.
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 And you are watching
Purebred Reds, Adelaide United Fan TV.
Hi, I'm Daniel Mullen, former Adelaide United player and Asian Champions League winner with Western Sydney Wanderers. When it comes to any of my soccer needs, I do my shopping here at Soccer Locker. An Australian-owned and operated business, the store is located at Shop 5 of 181 to 183 Grange Road, Findon. Founded in 2017, Soccer Locker was introduced into the market to fulfil all the soccer-related needs of Australians, providing a huge range of quality clothing and equipment ranging from soccer balls, team kits, goalkeeper gear, accessories and much more. Recently arrived stock also includes stunning retro kits from some of our favourite past eras as fans of the world game. Soccer Locker is a specialist in premier range boots, Adidas and Puma, goalkeeper gear and licensed merchandise. Visit us online at www.soccerlocker.com.au with free delivery Australia-wide. So get shopping now at our Findon store, open from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. from Monday to Friday and open Saturdays.
Hello and welcome to the Purebred Reds Adelaide United Fan TV. I'm Ellis Gelios, your regular host, in to review the game against Western Sydney Wanderers, a 2-1 loss for the club, very unfortunately. Missing a great opportunity to really put some pressure on Western United and Melbourne City. And also, whilst we've accumulated so many games and played more games than most other teams, it does put us in a bit of danger when it comes to other teams potentially making up some ground on us. 2-1 in the end, very disappointing to be losing this game. Absolutely dominated the first half, but just did not come out the same in the second half, and you could almost see it coming. It had that predictable nature to it right as we just continued to huff and puff throughout that first half without blowing the house down. Going into the halftime break at 1-1, but Western Sydney eventually finding a late winner, and it was very disappointing to see. There's a few things I want to get to today when it comes to discussing why we lost this game. I think, this is going to be a real referee bashing centric show because, look, we missed chances. We should have created chances. We made a fair few chances, but at the end of the day, I think the refereeing just needs to be addressed right now, the state of it in the A-League. But before we get to that, we'll just quickly take a look at how we lined up. So Gauci in goal, Lopez and Kiddo were the two fullbacks, Lockie Barr and Jakobsen the centre-backs. Brooke, Isais, Dorigo and Goodwin the midfield four, and then Ibasuki and Zach Clough rounding out the starting team for us. Western Sydney, they went with Margush in goal, of course, returning to his hometown city. Russell, Merchula, Kankar, who had a controversial game, and Aquilina being their back four, and then their midfield was Nazarene, Bacchus, Yugakovic and Carluccio, Petrados and Ebini up forward. I want to first discuss the fact that, we kind of have ourselves to blame here. We obviously did not take advantage of the fact that we were clearly the superior team in that entire first half. Western Sydney were just chasing shadows. Those transitions just lightning quick by us at times, and we were doing very, very well at playing a counter-attacking brand of football, which Western Sydney just didn't seem able to keep up with at all. And a lot of good performers too in that first half. A fair few chances made too. Ibasuki was very good at holding the ball up. Dorigo had that great chance where he's one-on-one with Margush. You can't have a go at him for having a shot, obviously, but if Dorigo squares that one, it's 2-0 to Adelaide United, and in that moment, we are smooth sailing. But it was Craig Goodwin early on in the game scoring that insanely good free kick, which got us up and about, and Craig Goodwin obviously cementing a Socceroos spot too, so good on him. But a trademark free kick by Craig, and we looked to be on our way really with how we just dominated Western Sydney Wanderers. And it's great for Craig too, by the way, as the new captain, and I just want to say that I think he deserves that armband. There is zero question about that whatsoever. I'm not sure he'd be my first choice because I like my captain to be vocal. I'm not so much in the mindset of having a captain that leads by example. I think you can have those players that do that anyway, who greatly benefit the team on their own accord, and then you want to have a vocal guy somewhere in the spine that's going to really pull heads together. But look, we had Eugene Galekovic as a captain for several years, and look at how good that was for us. We obviously ended up winning a championship with him as our captain. So who am I to say that Craig Goodwin is not the perfect captain? But good on him anyway, and good luck to him wearing that armband for his hometown team. But look, after he scored his goal, we should have been, smooth sailing. But again, it's just this ordinary defence that rears its ugly head. Jakobsen is really the only, when it comes to the centre-backs, not so much the full-backs. I think Kiddo's improved and really revolutionised himself to an extent, to the point where we're really kind of talking about the fact that he's a bit of an asset as opposed to being deemed a player that, was really lucky to be involved in the squad and probably nearing the end of his playing days in the A-League. But our centre-backs just aren't up to it. Like, Jakobsen, for me, is a safe pair of hands, but Lockie Barr's too green. And then Timothy's average. And Ansel's yet to really prove himself. Jacob Tratt's very average. And then Popovic is still a young kid. So, centre-backs are not good enough. And it shows. We haven't kept a clean sheet since December. And we cannot rely on outscoring teams because we're not good enough to do that every single week. We're good enough to do it some weeks where we have done it, but we're not good enough to do that every week. It's just not going to happen. It's not the type of Adelaide United that we saw in that championship season where we were able to do that. We had a very good defence in that season, mind you, too, but we relied a lot of the time on outscoring teams. We're not good enough to do that, and our defence lets us down big time, as it did with that very ordinary goal that we conceded against the Wanderers. It has to be said, just a very straightforward pass, straight down the middle, and their thrown goal. And unfortunately, Gauchi had no chance to really do anything in it. And it was just very, very, very unfortunate to see that goal in the end being scored by Rami Najarine. And then in the second half, it ends up being Philip Kankar who scores for the Wanderers. But aside from all that, here's what I want to discuss. The state of refereeing in the A-League right now is just a massive concern. Honestly, 2 nights in a row, I've witnessed 2 decisions that needed to have immediate intervention by the VAR, and they weren't. And both sets of commentary on both nights, this is our game last night, and then the Mariners versus Perth Glory game. In both those occasions, both sets of commentators were absolutely dumbfounded how the VAR hadn't come in and done what it was meant to do and intervene in the game and ensure that the referee ends up making the right decision. Why is the VAR even being utilised? It's an expensive mechanism. Why is it being utilised when it can't be called upon correctly? Now, VAR aside, I want to have a go at the A-League referees. I don't like to talk about referees. I think on most occasions, it's in your own hands what your fate ends up being. But the refereeing in the A-League has reached a new low. It has become so bad, and that is evident through the fact that the only referee in the A-League that is deemed a safe pair of hands that doesn't often make errors is Ali Razor Fagani from Iran. The only non-Australian referee in the league is the best referee. That says everything you need to know right now. And look, I'm a referee. I'm a referee at high school level, and I get abused. But here's the difference. I have at least the balls and the know-how to admit when I've made the wrong decision. Obviously, you can't go back in time and change the game. But I at least go up, I apologise, I admit that I've made the wrong decision. These A-League referees are so arrogant. They are just pure arrogance. They are incompetent and they're pussies. Let's be honest, they are just pussies. They don't want any accountability for the decisions they make. They want ultra protection. All they want to do is talk about anti-abuse campaigns, yet they cannot hold a candle to actually refereeing consistently well. It's a massive concern. We need, as a game, to start putting these referees under proper pressure because they're killing the product of the A-League. It's absolutely apparent that the A-League is being tarnished by how bad the refereeing is. Why can't we have referees at full time come out and explain their decisions? If they are so confident that they've made the right decision to rule out the VAR, then why are we not getting these explanations at full time? It's unacceptable. I'm sick of it. And we've had 2 incidents back to back, 2 incidents in 2 consecutive nights in the A-League where the commentary teams have been dumbfounded, the fans have been dumbfounded, the players have been dumbfounded, the coaches have been dumbfounded, and yet we get no explanation whatsoever. Here's why it pisses me off, because these A-League referees are supposed to be professional. At the very least, they're refereeing at a professional level. Livelihoods are at stake, unlike at a high school level, where I still get abused. And in the professional game, livelihoods are at stake. Carl Viet's future could be at stake based on one of these crap decisions. And not just Carl Viet, but any coach. Players, their form can be impacted by a decision a referee makes. And we are just seeing this utter mediocrity unfolding in the A-League with referees. We've got enough problems of our own to worry about as a code to have these referees, of all people, continue to make these poor mistakes that they don't want to take accountability for. Abuse the hell out of them, I say. I hope Carl Viet went into the rooms at full time and gave them an absolute bollocking, because that's not good enough. Where's the explanation? It's a disgrace. That decision to not award a penalty to Jakobsen last night had a bearing on the game. Mark my words, it did. Western Sydney got away with it big time. And I'm sick of it. I don't want to keep seeing this happen. And we have a responsibility to put heat on these referees because it's not good enough. I'm sorry. And with that, I don't really have a lot more to say. We'll be previewing the game against Western Sydney. We play them in a few days, of course, for whatever reason, because this game was rescheduled last night to be fit into the same week where we play them away from home on Sunday night. So we'll have a preview or a review, I'm not entirely sure at this point in time, about that game going to Western Sydney. But mark my words, I'm pissed off about these referees, and I want to see accountability taken. I've been your host, Ellis Gelios. It's been another review of Adelaide United's game in the A-League season in 2021-2022. Thanks to our sponsor, Locker Adelaide, and we'll see you next time right here on the Purebred Reds Adelaide United Fan TV.